Okay, properties of a kite. This is the last unit in chapter 7. It's 7.7. So we're all familiar with kites, but we probably haven't looked at it carefully. And kites have the following properties. Exactly two pairs of consecutive congruent sides. What that means is AB and AD are congruent, that's one pair, and BC and CD are congruent, that's the second pair. But only one pair of opposite angles are congruent. So that's angle ABC and angle ADC are congruent. Notice that this angle here, A, and this angle here, C, are not congruent to each other. So only one pair. And finally, which is probably the most important, is that the diagonals are perpendicular. Okay, so let's look at some examples here. If I have a kite here in example 1, 85 degrees and 43 degrees. So I know my interior angle for a kite is 360 because it's a quadrilateral, and I just need to subtract the two angles out of it, divided by 2. I should have 116 for both angle B and angle D. Look at example number 3. If I have 37 here, I know this part because this and this are congruent. I have an isosceles triangle, so this part has to be 37. And what else do I need? So I'm asked to, that would be QRP. Do I have QRP? I don't have QRP. So let's look at the sequence here. I have PTQ. PTQ is the easiest. That's 90 degrees because the diagonals are perpendicular to each other. And then I have QRT here. I thought I had QRT. That's 37 degrees. And PQT. If I have 37 degrees, I have 90 degrees here. In this small triangle, I can use 180 minus 37 minus 90, and I should have 53 degrees there. Okay? Let's look at number 5. What's given is 65 degrees and 52 degrees. We know that if I have this pair being congruent, then I have an isosceles triangle there, so angle 4 has to be 65 degrees. And angle 3 is 90 degrees. Those are the low-hanging fruits, right? And what you also should know is angle 7 and this angle 52 degrees are congruent. You can prove that these two little triangles here are congruent. You can prove it later, but for now I just want to let you know that diagonals of a kite actually are also angle bisectors. So let's look at what else do we know. If I have in this triangle in red, I already know angle 3 is 90. I know angle 4 is 65. So angle 2 has to be 180 minus 90 minus 65. And that should give me 25 degrees. And therefore angle 1 is also 25 degrees. So finally, 5 and 6, if I have 52 degrees for 7 and 52 degrees here, so this big angle here is 52 multiplied by 2. That's 104. So that becomes 180 minus 104, and then I divide that by 2. That should give me 38 degrees for both 5 and 6, because again, you've got an isosceles triangles there. Okay, so those are some exercises on the angles. Let's look at the sides. I'm going to do number 8. AC, I have 38 here. And ED, where's ED? ED is only this half. I have 41. So AC is the whole thing. I'm going to change that a little bit. If AC is 38, then I know EC is 19. And I'm asked to find CD, so I'll let CD be X. Because the diagonals of a kite are perpendicular, so I have a right triangle there with CD being my hypotenuse. So I can use my Pythagorean theorem as x squared equals 41 squared plus 19 squared. And I should have x squared equals 2042, and x comes out to be about 45.2. Therefore, CD is 45.2. Okay? So that's how we use the sides. Let's look at number 12. I'm asked to find angle L. I need to find this angle. And all I know is this is a kite, and angle L and angle N are opposite angles. And it looks to me they're also the congruent angles. They're the pair that's congruent to each other, right? Because it's sandwiched between a shorter side and a longer side. So then I can set this up because they're congruent. If I do that, x comes out to be 18. Once I have that, I can just plug it in. 5 times 18 plus 23. So it's 113 degrees. Okay? Again, I want to reiterate this, that it's this angle that's sandwiched between the shorter side of the kite and the longer side of the kite, and that's congruent to its opposite angle. If you look at these two angles, that they're the included angle of two identical sides. That's congruent, and this side is congruent, and these two angles are not congruent. Okay? So finish the rest of the packet before you move on to the homework. I'm looking if I want to do another one with you. I'll do number 16 with you. So number 16, I'm asked to find NQP, angle NQP, which is this angle. So I have to find x first. And how do I do that? I know that this part is 4x minus 7. Then I know this part, that angle, NQR, is 4x minus 7. I know this is 90 degrees, so I have 11x minus 23, that's one angle, plus 4x minus 7, that's my second angle, plus 90 degrees, this is my third angle. That should add up to 180 degrees, right? So if I do that, x comes out to be 8 if you do your algebra. Now, in order to find angle NQP, so that's 2 times 4x minus 7. That should have 2 times 4 times 8 minus 7, and that will give me 50 degrees. So kite is not hard, but it does give us a lot of information. Make sure you understand these properties carefully, and then you can use these properties very fluently, and it's really helpful. If you don't master it fluently, you get stuck, you get confused. That's not a pleasant feeling. So make sure that you review your notes. All right, I'll see you in class. Bye, guys.